Hi, my name's Carla. I'm part of the Me Too movement because I can say Me Too when it comes to sexual harassment, violence, or assault. I don't think that there would be anybody in my friends group that wouldn't have come on the spectrum in some way. That is, to have not been sexually harassed, who has not experienced sexual violence, and who has not been sexually assaulted in some way in their life. It's a huge thing. The Me Too movement has taken the world by storm. Finally, we're able to speak out about the things that happen to us as human women. But there's another very important movement I want known about. One that many people do know about, but one that many refuse to think about. And I want to call it She Too. Think about it. Women experience these horrible things. They want to take away our reproductive rights. They want to force us into lower paying jobs, etc., etc. And there's been a burst of feminism lately. But a very important part of feminism is sticking up for the female form, sticking up for female rights, sticking up for female reproductive rights. Every day people drink milk, eat dairy of many sources, and contribute to the suffering of female animals through the meat system, the egg system. Factory farming in general has basically provided about 95% of our meat, eggs, and dairy. Animals in this environment suffer greatly, particularly the females. Female chickens, for example, are shoved into these tiny cages for their entire lives, which are only about 2 years long in a factory farm setting because they're spent after that time. That means they've produced so many eggs that their little bodies can't produce anymore. That's because we're taking those eggs, and when those chickens can no longer stand, or when they're pecked to death by their cellmates, they're either thrown out or put into things like chicken noodle soup. Their little bodies are broken. They have no feathers anymore. In the factory farm situation, they cut off their beaks because these animals go insane, pecking at each other. So they cut their beaks off, sometimes so short they can't eat. They also pull their toenails out. They do this to turkeys as well. And let's talk about dairy. If you're a mother and you're watching this and you still consume dairy, I want you to really think about She Too. Because like us, we love our babies. We breastfeed our babies. Our milk is made for our babies. I'm carrying a baby right now, a little girl. Cows love their babies. Cows are raped repeatedly on a thing called a rape rack. A lot of people don't like that word. But basically they are hung up on this rack and artificially inseminated over and over again because, of course, in order to produce milk, you have to have a baby. Dairy cows in a factory farm setting never go outside. They're constantly on concrete and they're hooked up to machines stealing their milk. When their babies are born, they're taken away sometimes before they're even able to nuzzle their baby or lick the afterbirth. We take their milk and then we impregnate them again. And what happens to those babies? If those babies are born female, they go into dairy slavery just like their mothers. If they're male, many times they go towards veal. So if you're a vegetarian, for example, or even a conscious, concerned person, and you say, I would never eat veal, as you're drinking a glass of milk, understand that veal comes from dairy cows. Those are the boys that have no value except for veal. Many of them are put in those little hutches you see on dairy farms. Tiny little chains so they can't move around that much because veal is supposed to be good because they don't have a lot of tough muscles. And they don't have those muscles because they're not allowed to move. Those are the little boys. The little girls go back into dairy slavery to be hooked up to machines, to be like a machine, to produce breast milk. For us, humans are the only species in this world who drink breast milk past infancy. And it's not even our own species breast milk. It's breast milk from a cow. That milk is made to grow a great big cow. We take it from those babies. We shove the babies aside. you're a mom or if you're a feminist, how can you support that? These are just a few of the atrocities. I'm not going to really get far into pigs. But maybe we will talk about gestation crates. Pigs are also raped, artificially inseminated. And then they're stuck in gestation crates. What's a gestation crate? Well, a gestation crate is a metal box that doesn't allow the pig to move. She spends all of her pregnancies and then a while after the births in these crates. And because pigs are inseminated over and over and over again, this is most of their lives. Imagine being stuck in a box, not being able to move out of position. They suffer these sores, they get sick, they can't touch their babies. As a human, as a man, as a woman, just imagine that. And pigs are not stupid animals. They're extremely intelligent. So they go crazy in the agricultural system. Did you know that we rip out their teeth, cut off their tails, and castrate them without any type of pain relief? And the babies that are sick, that come from sick mothers, guess how they're killed? Completely routine in Canada and the US. Completely legal. They're taken and they're smashed against concrete wall or floor. So when you think about Me Too, I want you to think about She Too. Because she too loves her babies. She too should have rights over her body. She too should not be used as a machine. She too should not be lesser, like women have been considered lesser than men for all this time. She too wants to live. She too wants to be free. She too feels fear. She too feels pain. She too feels neglect, terror. But she too feels love and freedom when offered that. As a woman, as a man, as anyone in between. Wherever you stand as a human being, think about She Too, because she too deserves to have all of the respects we do. So from a Me Too survivor, let's work together to save more female animals. Take meat off your plate. Remove dairy. Cut out eggs. Look at all of the other options out there because there are many. We do not need animal proteins to survive. We do not need them to thrive. Just ask the millions of plant-based and vegan people out there. We're here to help you make your transition. Do a simple Google search. Fact-check everything I say. It's all out there for you. You just have to look.